Welcome back to Tiny TD Gaming. This is my video on the Primaris Marines and their future. So this is their future tied into the current video game world of Warhammer 40,000. So not really on about the tabletop because that's more dictated by Games Workshop and how they want to sell their models. I mean, they're doing a huge push on Horus Heresy Space Marines, which is all very cool, but it's not really what I'm into talking about right now on this channel. So just sort of say, I think that we will see a lot more focus on the Primaris Marines again come Space Marine 3, but also any other games that will come out now, whether it be some sort of RTS or third-person shooter or top-down strategy, whatever. So if we do get a Total War Warhammer 40,000 game, I think it will be Primaris heavy. I do think there'll be elements of Firstborn in it, but I do think that Games Workshop as a whole has sort of moved on entirely now and sought to distance itself mainly from the Firstborn Astartes. I do understand that in lore. I think that it makes sense that eventually a new Primarch turns up, and it being Guilliman, someone who's actually made for planning logistics and looking to the future, he initiated a protocol that meant that the Archmagos Belisarius Cawl would seek to improve on the Emperor's work. Yeah, it came as a shock to a lot of people, but I did think it was good. I think it's a good change. I don't think it's a good change to completely eradicate the idea of Firstborn Marines. I think that if we do have a game that's like a Total War Warhammer 40,000, you should still be able to recruit elements of Firstborn Marines or have mixed squads. So if you read any books, spoiler alert, if you read any books on the Carcharodon and Astra, even though they've got Primaris Marines and Marines that have crossed the Rubicon Primaris, they do still have some Firstborn Marines as well. Or if you've read the, I think it's the latest Black Templars book, I can't remember the name of it now, Lost Crusade, I think, where the main character, Emmerich, he's crossed the Rubicon Primaris quite a while ago. So, and then he still has some Firstborn Marines in his crusade. So that's the Black Templars having a mixed formation as well, just like the Carcharodon and Astra. So it's in the lore. I think they should absolutely use it where you have a mix. But I do understand the emphasis on Primaris, and in lore it makes sense. You know, potentially 800,000 Astartes died during the opening of the Great Rift and the wars for Cadia and all the wars that occurred during that tumultuous time. So I think then saying that Belisarius Cawl just suddenly had like tens and hundreds of thousands of Space Marines are Primaris ready, good to go, and then the facilities to make more, which has been offloaded to so many chapters using the Torchbearer fleets, I think in lore it makes sense. Whether people like it or not is another argument entirely, but I just think this is the route they're going to go down. I think that if we do get a game that's Total War Warhammer 40,000, it will be Primaris heavy. I think we'll have all the weird and wonderful different troop classes of Primaris Marines, and then the different chapters as well will have their own flavour, but I don't think we'll see many elements of the differences in chapters, like the fact that the Black Templars are on crusade, full stop, and then the differences in Space Wolves to Black Templars to Carcharodon and Astra to Ultramarines. I think it'll be, again, Ultramarine heavy, or a chapter that's this is quite a contentious thing to say, but almost like Ultramarines. So like the Blood Angels, yes, they have their own Sanguinary Guard, they've got this and that, and they have the Black Rage and the Red Thirst, but they are Codex compliant. So they, whilst they're not red armoured Ultramarines, they are very Codex compliant, same as the Imperial Fists, you know, very Codex compliant. So without, you got the idiosyncrasies, but and their different personalities and character traits and flaws, but they all those three armies operate in a standard procedure. So in game, I don't think that would have loads of difference. Maybe you'd have different buffs, slight different perks and all that, but I do think that The flavour of Primaris is quite the same. I think that we will just see them expand the range for the tabletop that will reflect in the books, and that will somewhat reflect in the games. I mean, obviously, Space Marine 3 has been announced, so the main character has already crossed the Rubicon Primaris. Did that at the start of Space Marine 2 with Titus finishing his service in the Black Watch and then getting reclaimed by the Ultramarines. But I think using him as an example, the entirety of the second company of Ultramarines in the game was fully Primaris, and I get that because even the Ultramarines took mad casualties after the fall of Cadia, and then in the battles around resurrecting Guilliman, and then the Terran Crusade, and then the subsequent Indomitus Crusade. And I mean, even in the Dark Millennia, Dark Millennium trilogy, even the Victrix Guard slowly getting replaced from the sweaty veteran Firstborn Marines to then becoming the Primaris dominant. It is the way of things, but I think they could definitely have factions or chapters in the next games that, due to resources, facilities, whatever, recruit mainly Firstborn Marines just because that's what they've got access to. You could play as a Black Templar Crusade that's only got access to the Firstborn genetic gene stock. But I think as a whole, though, the chances of that are very slim. I think what we'll see is just them building on the franchise of Primaris Marines. I mean, the fancy armour you're seeing me playing now, the Dark Angels, it looks cool. I'm not saying that's just Primaris Marines, but the sort of revival of the stylized iconography has come with the Primaris Marines a lot. I mean, I know they've been able to widen the range, they've boosted their profits, so that makes sense. But I do really think that in the future you may see a potential fall to chaos as well of Primaris Marines, even if they say, well, it was a bloke who crossed Rubicon Primaris, so they were already a bit dodgy because they were firstborn, so they could have been corrupted earlier. Or I think that in subsequent games you'll have a sort of grey area, maybe Space Marine 3, but a grey area where Primaris Marines have potentially gone renegade, been forced to go renegade, exiled, whatever. So they're skirting the line, maybe not a Chaos Space Marine that's Primaris, but in the future you might have someone who's a bit morally ambiguous, or a faction that's morally ambiguous, and that could be reflected in the games as well. So individuals that scale that line. I mean, if you read the Watchers of the Throne books, the Custodes willingly kills Minotaur's Primaris Marine who's only just been woken up recently, and it's well, there you go, straight away the Primaris Marine's trying to throw hands with the Custodes because his chapter master told him to. I mean, that makes no sense because the Custodes are the Emperor's bodyguards, so surely they're the most loyal. But yeah, I think that was just more highlighting the differences in characteristics of chapters, and it just shows that Space Marines, whether they're Primaris or Firstborn, will mostly have loyalty to the chapter first in a lot of respects. But just been my thoughts, slight waffle on, but let me know what you think in the comments below. Please like and subscribe, help the channel grow, and let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.